life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for greatness.
Shit, Dave.
Welcome back to our Thomas Podcast. I am your host, Damian Jackson, and today we're going to get into a little relationship talk. We asked the question, is he a good man? I have a lot of female friends throughout my years, still got some obviously. I have my daughter I talk to and stuff, my sister, things like that. So I know some of that female perspective, and I have my own perspective as, quote unquote, a good man. I'm not a good man. I'll be honest with you. I'm a fucking amazing, great goddamn man. But, that's just me. Anyways, I notice when it comes to women trying to figure out, is he a good man? The first and foremost, it starts at home in the childhood, in your upbringing. How can you tell what is a good man if you didn't have a good man when you were fucking growing up, right? If you didn't have some male figure in the household, particularly in the household, not necessarily uncles and grandfathers, stuff like that, but someone, a man, particularly in the household, if they're not present and if they're not actively involved, your perspective is already a little, I don't want to say skewed, but it's not the best, right? You call it what it is. And some women that I've known throughout my life, those that have relationship issues or a hard time finding a good man, or what they want to think is a good man, or if they even fucking know what a good man is, well, the dads wasn't, dads, right? So to start the bat, right, and you're trying to figure out, how do I find a good man? What is a good man? You're already fucked because your father wasn't a good man. I'm trying to not laugh at this, but, I got a fucked up sense of humor, so, I'm going to laugh at it. But how can she figure out what a good man is when she's literally just making shit up as she goes, which is actually not no real problem, right? Experiences. Life will teach you lessons. I always tell my kids this, life will teach you lessons. Or you can live vicariously through other people's experiences and learn their lessons. I notice with women, though, as they try to figure out what is a good man, if you don't have that in the household, like I was stating, then what do you look at? How do you try to figure it out? Do you look at your mother who is failing at relationships? Or is she not failing that relationship and she's just like, I just don't feel like dealing with this anyways. I got to raise these kids. Okay, that's fine. But do you look elsewhere as far as coaches, teachers? Let's say other relatives, grandfather, uncle. Do you look at movies, TV shows? Because a lot of women fantasize and romanticize shit that they see or read in books and stuff like that. What was that? The 50 Shades of Grey, some shit like that. And then women are like, oh, I want someone like this. But I'm like, I never watched this shit. But just hearing about it, I'm like, what the fuck what do they want this for? But it's a fantasy, right? Disney movies sell you a fucking lie. Oh, the Disney princess and then the man gonna come in and sweep me up and all that. No, but it's not realistic, right? So you already have an unrealistic expectation. Your reality is fucked as far as what you think a good man is. And then another question is, you want a good man, is he a good man? Are you a good fucking woman, right? Because if you ain't shit, well, of course you're going to attract another ain't shit motherfucker, right? It makes sense, right? That makes sense. That makes sense. So if you're not in a manner, in a good mentality yourself, if you're not in a healthy mentality, if you're toxic, of course you're going to find someone who's just as toxic. Law of attraction. So it makes sense. But then what happens when you're healing and you're with someone who is helping you heal, or y'all healing together, but you start to notice some things and you're like, wait a minute. There's some things about you. I didn't realize this. But those things probably was always there. You just didn't realize it because you were in a different state. You were vibrating at a different frequency. Whatever fucking phrases and things that you want to say to make you wrap your head around the shit, it's all the same. So what is a good man? if you have no idea what a good man is. And once you start to formulate your idea of a good man, then what? You start to notice that you're looking around, ain't really that many of them. Or if there are some, well, guess what? Some other woman who was healthy and smarter using her motherfucking brain already got the good men. They're like, there's no good men out there. Yeah, they are. They're married. Or they're just in, I don't know, situations in which they said, fuck all women, or I'm just tired of it. That's the reality of it too. I don't date because I'm tired. I'm tired. Look at this shit, bro. I'm tired. I lost my hair, right? I'm tired. The kids, man. I've been married and divorced, bro. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired. I don't feel like dealing with the shit. All right, to each their own. I weigh the pros and cons. I look at it more logically. Logically right now, I'm good. I'm good. I got a lot of shit to keep me going, keep me busy, things like that. So for the women out there who are looking for a good man, or for the women out there who have a man and you realize, he's not the man I thought was a good man, but he was at one point in time. The reality is your perspective is changing. Your standards are changing because as we start to heal, we start to feel good about ourselves, right? Self-love. So we have certain standards in which now we want to incorporate into our life, into every aspect of our life, obviously including our relationship. So if my standard has risen in a sense, and this man who I thought was a good man doesn't mean he's a bad man anymore. It's just your standard of what you perceive a good man has slightly changed. Now you're kind of like, what the fuck do I do? What the fuck do I do? And then for the men out there, if they don't have fathers themselves who are trying to tell them, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. My father instilled in me my whole fucking life, be better than him. So I analyzed and I looked at his flaws, the ones he told me about and the ones he didn't speak of. But I saw and I paid attention. So I paid attention to what flaws he had. And I tried to work on those things myself before they even became an issue. I tell the same thing to my son and my little brother. Hey, be better than the ones that came before you because you can see what is working, what's not working, and what you can work on yourself. Or what you just might want to slightly do that's what you might want to do that's slightly different. That's okay too. But if you recognize the overarching theme here, when fathers are not actively involved in the household and raising the motherfucking children, we start to have the crumbling of society, the foundational structure. Now we can go back and forth about, you can have kids without a father in there and have two mothers, all that stuff. Yeah. You can do whatever the fuck you want, to be honest with you. But when that young heterosexual female wants to grow up and have a heterosexual male and she's raised by two mothers, well, who the fuck gonna help her find a good man? I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with it. To each their own. I'm not knocking none of that shit. None of that stuff. I might laugh at it, might make fun of it. I might disagree with it, but I still respect everyone's individual choices and blah, 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 all that shit. Obviously. Because I'm not a fucked up person. I'm a good man. But women that are trying to find that good man, you're not going to find that good man because it's not about finding that good man. It's about you recognizing who you are as an individual, as a woman, in your feminine energy, and also recognizing your masculine energy, because you'll know what masculine energy in which you want to attract and what you're attracted to. What is a match for you? What is a balance for you? What is that counterpart, right? Creating that synergy, right? That yin and yang. The duality, the black and white, but in the middle, you got the whole kind of gray. Your Vesica Pisces. I think I said that right. You get the picture I'm trying to put together though. So for a female that's trying to find that man, you have to look inside yourself, because you have to ask those questions. Okay, what is a good man to me? Because there is no actual driven line of standards what a good man is to you, or what a good man is objectively. We can say, oh, someone that's honest. Motherfuckers lie, right? Motherfuckers lie. Every man I know lies. I lie. What I lie about might not be relationship stuff. I might lie to myself, trying to psych myself up to do something that I know I'm not able to do, but I'm going to lie to myself, right? So everybody lies to some extent. Oh, he doesn't cheat on me. Okay, that's great. He can not cheat on you, but he can still be neglectful as fuck to you, right? He can still ignore the shit at you. That's the reality of it too. You can say, oh, he plays too much video games, or he's with his friends too much. Okay. But you have to ask yourself, what is going on with him mentally? Because a lot of times men and everyone are fighting their own battles in which they don't communicate with or communicate others about. A lot of times we internalize our own issues, and we don't want to tell anyone that, hey, yes, I got something going on. And it might be hard to open up to women. Actually, it is hard to open up to women. Because women at times, and these are generalizations, so obviously it's nothing particular on y'all, the individual, but these are generalizations in which we're speaking of right now. Sometimes it is like the man can't open up to a woman because if he shows his emotion, oh, he's not a man no more. I don't know why the notion of a man not showing his emotions or a man speaking up about his emotions makes him less manly. Which is funny because at the same time, if you're too aggressive, you're the toxic male. It's like motherfuckers can't win no matter what. That's what it seems like, right? Like that's what it seems like. So as a man, if you're not afraid to, or if you're hesitant to open up towards a woman and you don't want to open up towards your friends, well, now you're internalizing a lot of aggression, a lot of frustration, a lot of stress, a lot of emotions. And that can be projected outwards in your relationship, right? Not very manly of you, in my opinion. But see, that's the standard, that's the standard in which I live by. And then the standard is always evolving. And then some women want a man who's a leader, but not every motherfucker's a leader. That's the reality of it. We're not going to talk about, an alpha male and a beta male. That shit's just out there to talk about. What we're talking about is a man being a leader doesn't mean he's always going to lead and make decisions for you in the relationship, in the household, and the family. Might lead by example through hard work. Might lead by showing discipline, waking up, going to the gym, going to work. He might lead in other manners in which, are helpful. Now, is this quite something that you want to have? Maybe, maybe not. What it ultimately comes down to is you, the individual, particularly women, which we're talking about, but male or female, it doesn't matter. If you know yourself and you're confident with yourself, what you need externally from another person won't necessarily seem like a lot. But the standard that you have for the other person in the relationship in which you're trying to proceed or pursue and have and work on and cultivate, that standard is there because that standard is within yourself, right? I will never ask another woman that I'm in a relationship with to do something that I know I couldn't do myself. I know I'm not going to cheat, so I put that standard out there. That's an internal projection, but it's a healthy one. I know I'm not going to lie about things because that's just who I choose to be. That's a healthy projection. Now, if she has an issue with that, or she contemplates that, or she's going to cheat, or she's going to lie, now we have a problem. But the problem is fixable. We can work on it. She can change something, or I can just be like, I'm done. 9 out of 10 times, I'm done. 10 out of 10 times, I'm done. I don't know why I said 9. I don't know why I said that. I try to get a benefit of the doubt, maybe like a 9.9999. But yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done because I don't feel like dealing with that shit. Particularly though, because I have kids. So my focus is on that. Which leads me to another thing. the older I get and I see women dating and stuff, and it goes for men and women, but the older I get and people my age, 35 and up, that are dating and stuff, you're going to have kids. But people don't really want to deal with other people's children, whether they have kids or not. Completely respect it, because obviously the goal is, if you have kids with someone, you don't want to fucking split up. You don't want a divorce. Duh. But we don't live in a perfect world, and never will we. Because if it's perfect, well, we're not going to learn anything. So dating 35 and up, 30 and up. I mean, motherfuckers be having kids at all different ages anyway, but 35 and up, let's go with that. So you're 35 and up, you're trying to date and stuff, and you're trying to be in a relationship. One person has kids, the other person doesn't have kids, both people have kids. Like, for me, I have a hard time wanting to be with a woman who has kids, because I'm like, I am going to judge her on her parenting skills. You goddamn right, because, you know what, judging is not a good word. I'm going to pay attention and analyze her parental behaviors and actions, because it's telling of who she is as a whole person, and vice versa. Be honest with you, I think I'm better than a lot of single mothers. Y'all can kiss my ass. I know I am. So if I date a single mother and she ain't doing the shit that I know that I should be doing, or that I think that she be doing, because I'm holding her to the standard in which I hold myself, we got a fucking issue. So I could be with her, but I'm always going to draw a line. I'm not going to be with her. We're not going to move in the house together. We're not going to have a blended family. That's just not fucking happening. Right? So I'm already cutting my dating pool in half, if not more. And then dating a woman that doesn't have kids, the reality of the situation is that woman does not want to date me with kids, because guess what I'm going to be doing? Spending most of my time and energy focusing on my kids. But that makes me a good man. See how we bring this all together? That makes me a good man, because I'm taking care of my kids, because I'm focusing on them, because I'm sacrificing my own personal interests, some of my own personal emotions and attention and time to make sure I take care of them. That makes me a good man. That makes me a great fucking man. Doesn't make me a good partner to be with, though. That's the reality of it. Which is also why I stopped dating. Because I'm like, you know what? The kids are always going to come first. And women don't like that. That's the reality of it. But the goal was not to be in this situation. So for women that are dating men that have kids, if they're not, I tell my female friends this all the time, if they're not actively involved in their child's life, or trying to actively be involved in their child's lives, or to that degree, pay attention. Now, to each their own, every situation is unique, so you can't throw out a blanket statement, but you gotta pay attention, because it's telling of who they are. Once again, as I say all this stuff, it doesn't mean that these are bad men. You know, I'm not saying that's a bad man, that's a bad man. I'm saying good man. A good man is a relative term. That's all it is. It's a relative term. It's based on you. A good woman is a relative term. It's based on you. That person that you want to be with is based on you. But if you ain't shit, you're going to get ain't shit. Your selection is going to be horrible. What you expect? Out here going 0-17, and you still thought I guess you could get the first pick in the NFL, but first pick ain't always the best pick. We know this. So is he a good man? Do you want a good man? It all depends on you. Just because he's not a good man the way that you think he is or should be or want him to be doesn't make him a bad man. Doesn't mean that you can't make a relationship work. Doesn't mean that you still can't love him. Just because she's not a good woman doesn't mean that she's a bad woman. She just might not be the woman that in which you want to partake in, or have a relationship with, be with. Right? As men, we know some women are for fun. As women, they know some men are for fun. You can casually date them. You can have a relationship with them. But when we're getting older and we're talking about building long-term relationships, partnerships, right? Marriages, lifelong commitments, part of who you are as an individual in all areas and aspects of your life has to be evaluated. Has to be evaluated. And yes, you can be with someone based on their potential, and you can try to help them reach that potential. But at the end of the day, if they don't want to do that themselves, then you find yourself at a standstill in a relationship and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. It's a stalemate. I've been that a few times before. Like, she don't recognize what she's doing, but I'm telling her what she's doing, and she's like, oh, no, this is not it, and I'm going to be this way. Okay. Yeah, okay. You made it clear that you're going to be that way. I appreciate the honesty. That's great. I'm letting you know it's not for me. It's not for me anymore. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're with that man, and he's like, hey, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm not going to do certain things, or I want my life to be a certain way, and what you're doing isn't working right now. Does he make a change? Does she make a change? It's just a choice. And what I want to kind of highlight in all this is we focus on good man, good woman, bad woman, choices, and all these different things. There's no real right or wrong. It's just choices to be made. Obviously, they're doing some fucked up shit, killing motherfuckers, or being a pedophile, so shit. Like, obviously, that's a whole different thing. But you get what I'm talking about. So, whether or not he's a good man depends on you. Whether or not you choose to be with him and stick it out depends on you. Vice versa, same for a man looking for to be with a woman. It all depends on you. And your standard of what a good man is, your definition of what a good man is, your perspective on what a good man is depends on you. Because you might think he's not a good man, or the man that you want him to be, or the potential that you think he has, he's not reaching it. But don't worry, because the next motherfucker will think he's great. Facts of life, man. That's what it is. Date is a motherfucker, bro. I don't know how y'all do that shit, man. It's too much for me. It's too much for me. I'd rather, stress about some other shit. I'm out.
Life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for
Talking
greatness.
shit, Dave.